Hey everyone, welcome to Post to Post. My name is Neil. Thank you so much for joining me today. I want to talk today a little bit about my 5 goals, or like 5 bucket list items for this upcoming NHL season. I think it's good to set goals in life in general, regardless of hockey. And I'm a very list-oriented person, so I thought that we could have a little bit of conversation, and then maybe down in the comment section at the end of the video, you can tell me some of your goals. Whether it doesn't even have to be hockey related. If you've got a goal for this upcoming winter, or maybe in 2023, and you want to share it, I'd love to read it. I read all the comments, but I'm going to focus just on this upcoming NHL season, on my 5 goals here. So let's talk about the first one. I'm going to actually put this one up on the screen here, because I've got a list. I'll put this one up on the screen for you guys as well. So the first one I have is see an NHL game in person in an arena that I've never been to. So obviously that's going to require me to travel. I currently live in Fredericton or Brunswick, and it means that the closest NHL arenas to me is Boston, which is I think about 8 hours away, and I think Montreal is roughly 8 hours away as well. I've seen a game in Boston and I've seen a game in Montreal. So I could go a little bit further. I think the next closest one might be Ottawa. So, that's an option. So I've picked 5 teams that I would really like to see a game in their arenas. And it's gonna require me to fly, actually. So it's gonna be a little bit money dependent, but I want to make it a goal. I want to visit at least one arena that I've not been to and see a game in person. The last NHL game that I saw in person was in January 2020, just before the pandemic started. So it's been a while since I've been to an NHL game. So I've ranked these. The number one team, or the number one, arena or location that I'd like to see an NHL game this year, and you might be a little bit critical of this, it's Arizona. The whole arena situation in Arizona, we've talked about it to death, and they're going to be playing in a much, much smaller arena. And while that's weird, I think it's going to be awesome at the same time. I think the atmosphere is going to be very electric because it's a smaller building. It's going to be a little bit louder. I want to experience that because I don't know how long that's going to last. So yeah, I kind of want to go see a game in Arizona. I've been in Arizona. I love the state. It's one of my favorite states. So I know some people there as well. So I'd like to kind of visit them if they're available. So yeah, be cool to see a game in Arizona. I think that's number 1 on my list this year. Number 2 is going to be Calgary. So first of all, I've got tons of friends in Calgary that I would love to see, regardless if we went to a game or not. We'd just love to see them. But Calgary in the Saddle Dome, it's not the prettiest arena. It's apparently some of the sightlines aren't great. It's obviously very old. There's conversations about a new arena in Calgary. So the time is coming up for the Saddle Dome. And I want to see it. I'm very old school and very nostalgic, so I want to kind of experience it before it's gone, and so I have that memory. So Calgary's number 2 on my list. I would love to fly out to Calgary and see a game. Unfortunately, domestic flight in Canada is extremely expensive. I can fly to Los Angeles from here cheaper than I can fly to Calgary, which is in my own country. So obviously they're both very far from me, but you'd think within my own country I'd be able to travel a little bit cheaper than internationally to a different country. It's actually not the case. So it's going to be expensive to get to Calgary, but I'm hoping that I can do it this year if I'm not able to get to Arizona. Number 3 on my list is Ottawa. I think logistically it's the most logical choice for a driving excursion. I don't think flying to Ottawa is, I guess I could, but I'd rather drive. I like to drive in general. It's not that far away. I think it's about 10 hours away. So to drive to Ottawa would be reasonable, I think, and I'd take the weekend, maybe I'd take a day off work or something, drive to Ottawa. I love the city. I've been there before, but just to experience a game in Ottawa. And also Ottawa Senators are a team I'm really going to be paying attention to this year. Very young, exciting team, so I want to see them play. Be cool to see a game in Ottawa. So next one here, I've got Colorado. Colorado is one of my favorite teams. They have been since Patrick Roy was traded, but I would love to see a game in Colorado. I've technically been in Colorado, but only in the airport, and it's my favorite U.S. state, so I'd love to actually experience Colorado a little bit, spend some time in Denver, maybe take a drive to Colorado Springs or kind of around Colorado a little bit, see the sights, but more importantly, see a game, see the Colorado Avalanche play a game in the, what's it called now? The Ball Arena? I'm so used to calling it the Pepsi Center or Pepsi Arena, whatever, but yeah, the ball arena, that's weird. But yeah, we'd love to see a game there. And I know some people in Colorado as well, so I'd love to kind of hang out with them and check out a game. So yeah, that's number 4 on my list. Number 5, I kind of just added it just so I would have a top 5. I don't think, well, it's going to be San Jose. I don't think seeing a game in San Jose is super realistic for me this year. They're my second favorite team, so that's kind of why I added them here. I've been to San Jose, but I've not been to that arena. I would love to see a game there. I would love to experience watching my Sharks play in person. I think it would be awesome. But financially and just like hotels and stuff in San Jose or the Bay Area in general, renting a car there, flying to San Francisco or in that area is cheaper than Calgary still, but still maybe a little bit too expensive. So I wanted to put it there, but I think maybe San Jose is a little bit unrealistic, a little bit too expensive for me. But yeah, that's number one on my list, is to see a game in an NHL arena that I've not been to before. That's probably number one, actually. I'd really like to get back into doing some travel and obviously vlog that experience, regardless of the city, regardless of the arena, completely vlog that trip. So yeah, so maybe you'll see that on the channel coming up this season. Number two, which is maybe more important than number one, but it's number two on my list, is to get back into NHL hockey. I was so deflated, I think, in that first COVID year, but maybe more so in the second COVID year. Like last season, I don't know, I just felt very unemotionally invested. I was completely detached from my team, the Canadiens, because, well, I mean, to be blunt, they sucked. But number two, just other teams as well. I don't just watch my Montreal Canadiens. As you guys know, if you follow the channel, I watch all teams. And when all teams are having roster issues where, they're being held out because they tested positive or they had a close exposure, and there's people coming up from the minors that I've never heard of, and then the lines are constantly changing. I don't know. I really fell out of love with hockey a little bit this last season and the season before, but really last season, it's just, I don't know. You guys could probably tell I didn't make as much hockey content or NHL specific ongoing news hockey content last season. The channel definitely suffered because of it. And I think now that we're heading into a season where we're kind of getting back to that normality, I'm excited again. I've fallen back in love with hockey, and I need to relearn about the teams. There's lots of players that I didn't even know about for certain teams. There's lots of trades that I've forgotten that has happened. So I need to get educated. I need to get my brain going here and get my thinks and my thoughts right, and get back into hockey truly this coming season. So I'm looking forward to that, and I think that's a really important one on my list. I'm curious if anyone else feels that way as well. Let me know down below in the comment section. Number three here, I've got concretely pick a favorite player rather, from each NHL team by the second or third month. So when I was really into hockey, back 2017 when I started the original channel, 2018, 2019, talking lots of hockey, I watched all the teams, and I have always enjoyed cheering for players, individual players versus teams. I love teams, I love their brands and stuff, I love talking about that, but I really like the personal story of someone. I really enjoy players' personality outside of the game in interviews when they're not on the ice, when they're like, some NHL teams have YouTube channels where they do like fun interviews and stuff. I like that stuff. We get to learn about players' actual personalities and who they are as people, and I think that's important. And as I've not watched hockey a lot last year, I don't know who my favorite player is from every team. Also, there's been lots of trades too. So once I get back into NHL hockey, again, watching a ton of hockey in the first couple of months, I really want to come up with a concrete list of my favorite player from every NHL team. And I'll make a video about that as well, maybe in that second or third month of the NHL. I'm going to be gone actually for 2.5 weeks on vacation, a cruise, and I'm going to be missing out on some crucial early season hockey, unfortunately. But yeah, so keep an eye out for that video maybe in the second or third month. Okay, next on my list is a bit of a weird one actually. Collect no less than 5 Reverse Retro 2.0 jerseys, but no more than 15. So it's odd to limit yourself, but I think after the last Reverse Retro series, I think I was at like 15 or 16 very comfortably, pretty quickly actually too, and then they started to trickle in after that, and I got up to like 26, 27, 28 I think, so like almost all of them, and I was so close to like completely saying, oh man, I've got every Reverse Retro jersey, but then I sold a bunch, and now I think I maybe only have 10, and I'm going to be selling a bunch more actually. If you're interested in buying any, please consider hitting the subscribe button. If you're new, that video will be coming. I got 20 Adidas jerseys to sell. I would say about 5 to 7 of them are Reverse Retros, so keep an eye out for that. But I think it's good to limit myself this time. I don't want 28, 29, 30, or all of them, all 32 Reverse Retro jerseys from this upcoming season. That's not, like, that's a want, but that's not a need. And I think not even 15 jerseys from the collection is a need. I think as a jersey collector, I consider myself a jersey collector. You can see them in the background here. I think 5 is a very, very reasonable number to collect. 5 of my favorites, absolutely. So that's my minimum. I would love to collect at least 5, and I've absolutely limited myself at the most 15. I think even that's a little bit unrealistic. I like to keep it between 5 and 8. I think that's a pretty good area, and there's going to be certain Reverse Retros that I buy that I know what's coming. We've talked about the rumors and stuff, so they're like the Islanders, if they do the Fisherman, which I'm pretty confident that they will, that's going to be on my list. That's 100%, okay? So there's ones that I already know I'm going to get, probably up to like the 5 range, but it depends what releases from some of these other teams. Like New Jersey could be a hit or miss, so I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to limit myself to absolutely no more than 15, but at least 5. So obviously I'll be unboxing those on the channel, making videos. The next one, or the last one, is going to be try and watch more local team broadcasts versus national ones. I think the national broadcasts are great. Obviously, you know, some of the best broadcasters work nationally on those national feeds, but the local broadcasters, sometimes if I'm cheering for a team, like we'll say, I don't know, if Seattle's playing Pittsburgh, I typically like to root for underdogs. So I'm going to be rooting for Seattle, typically in that matchup. Sometimes it's nice to see the local biased broadcast. And I think there's a lot of local broadcasts members that I don't know the names of. I've not heard them before. So I kind of want to experience them and kind of really just, I guess, get exposure to other markets and see who are their media people, how do they call the game, and is it terrible? Maybe I'll go back to the national feeds. I think that's really what it comes down to. I just want to see what every team is doing locally as far as their broadcasts. So that's number 5 on my list. I have a bonus one, okay? It's nothing to do with the NHL, but I wanted to include it anyway because it is a goal of mine. So bonus, go see at least one QMJHL game. That's the Quebec Major Junior League. It's the closest league to me in Moncton and St. John. So the Moncton Wildcats, the St. John Sea Dogs. So I'd like to see one game in each city this upcoming season. So I'll be traveling to St. John to see a game. That's a pretty easy goal for me. I know some people in St. John as well. It'd be cool to go see the game with them. St. John is 45 minutes to an hour away. Moncton is, you know, an hour and 30, an hour and 45 minutes away. So very reasonable travel times. I've not been to a Moncton Wildcats game since 2011, and I've never been to a St. John Sea Dogs game ever. So I would love to see a game in both of those places. So a little bit of a bonus goal for me there is to see 2 local kind of leagues, local games, local teams. I think that would be pretty cool. Maybe I could vlog that experience as well for the channel. But yeah, there you have it. There are my goals for this upcoming, I'll say hockey season, because we talked a little bit outside of the NHL. My goals and my bucket list items for this upcoming hockey season. I would like to know some of your goals down below in the comment section. Even if it's not NHL related, even if it's not hockey related, we'd love to see your goals. I read all the comments that anyone ever leaves on any video. I don't respond to them all because it would take so long to respond to them all, but I promise you I absolutely read them all. So hope you guys are having a wonderful day. If you're new, consider hitting the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Adios.